Welcome to FIU Football Weekly, halfway point of the season, and this big boy is back on campus after a Shula Bowl victory against FAU, third one in the last 4 years for the Panthers. Coach Ron Turner joins me, and Coach, I'm sure all wins are exciting, but I'm sure this one had a little bit more meaning.
Yeah, no question about it. You could sense that as soon as our game was over, the Saturday prior to. I said, you know who we got next week. That's all I had to say. And they put out a big cheer, and you could tell the difference. You could feel the energy on Sunday, even though we had a short week. They came back Sunday, and then turned around Monday morning. Very short turnaround for another full practice, and energy was tremendous, and you could feel it. I mean, it meant a lot to bring this thing home.
And you know, when the Panthers win this, the average margin of victory for FIU over FAU in the 4 wins is 29.5 points. That's 30 points a game. I mean, when they win big. So. Getting back to that Shula Bowl, another great effort by the defense now. 21 turnovers gained on the season, number 1 in the country. I mean, what else can you say about your defense halfway through this season?
No, they're playing great. They're playing with a lot of energy, a lot of passion, and playing together. And that's the important thing. You know, the defensive line, linebackers are aggressive. They're downhill, putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, attacking the running game, and that enables the secondary, you know, to know that the quarterback's got to throw the ball up. And then we got 2 corners that are playing outstanding, and our safeties very aggressive in the run game. So I mean, just love the way they're playing. Love the attitude of these guys, and you could feel it all spring. You could feel it in training camp that, you know, they're playing with an attitude. They're playing with a purpose.
And by now, this is old hat, these rain delays. It appeared that, you know, nothing phased this defense when we came out of that 2-hour rain delay. Did you guys just, I mean, when you went back in the locker room, what was the mood? It's like, oh, well, you know, we got a 2-hour break here, or was it more of a guys, you know, keep the edge up, keep it going type of thing?
No, you said it. Our guys are used to it. I mean, they just said, okay, here we go again. And you never know how long it's going to be. It might be half hour, it might be 40 minutes, it might be 2 hours. First one we've had is 2 hours. And they went in the locker room. At first, they had their pads on, and they were kind of sitting there. And then I came in and said, guys, it's going to be a while. They took their pads off. They put some dry clothes on and sat around and talked. And, you know, very loose, but focused. As soon as we said, all right, you're out in the field in 15 minutes. I mean, they jumped up, put their pads on, and started screaming, and they were ready to go.
I think we're running out of adjectives to describe Richard Leonard's play this season. And, you know, now is his second 100-yard return against FAU, the only 2 100-yard returns in this program's history. I mean, the guy just got a knack for being a playmaker.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. I mean, he's always around the ball. I mean, obviously, and he's just, you know, he's got great instincts, great feel for the game, and decent athleticism to go along with it. You know, pretty good speed. So, no, he's a tremendous player and a very smart football player. And it was actually 103 yards. I'm not going to call it 100. I'm calling it 103.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, the college rules don't go the NFL way. But, yeah, I agree with you. It was 103, but you know, it is what it is.
Exactly. No, it was a great play. And it wasn't just him. I showed that clip to the defense, to the whole team yesterday and said, guys, you know, Richard got the award last week, Conference USA Player of the Week, well-deserved. But when somebody gets that award, it's a team award. It's everybody. And I showed that play for an example. I said, he's not going to pick that ball up and run if 18 – Jordan Davis doesn't come down and hit the guy. Right. He had his pads right on the ball and knocked it out. And if he didn't get 3 or 4 blocks along the way, so it's always a team effort.
Yeah, Jeremiah McKinnon had a key block on the way down, and then and it looked like around the 50, Richard just put it on the 5th gear, and nobody was going to catch him the rest of the way. The running game had the best output of the season last week, 185 yards. Alex Gardner had his second 100-yard game. Besides, you know, the big holes, what else went right there?
Well, I think our offensive line is playing better each week and coming together and communicating better and working together better each week. And, you know, the week before, we didn't have as good a production, but I said we blocked their front really well. It was just they had an extra guy in the box the entire night. So this time we blocked the front well, and Alex and Anton did a good job. Both of them did a really good job of hitting the holes and getting positive yards. And again, the offensive line did a really good job on it.
Another season best output last week was on 3rd down conversions, an area where the team struggled early on. Last week, 6 of 14. I think that's also trending in the right direction, I'd say.
Yeah, no question, and that's an area that we have not been very good. You were nice to say that, you know, early we struggled. No, we've struggled every game until this one. We were not very good on 3rd down. Our execution, not very good. We did a much better job, and it was 6 for 14, I believe, but one of them was, you know, 3rd and goal, and we got in on a 4th down. So if you count that as a conversion, we did a very good job on third down. We got to keep that going. As I've said all along, it's a matter of executing. We looked at everything we were doing, and there were times they may have had a better call or a tough situation, but when it was manageable and we had the right look, we weren't executing. We did a much better job of that Thursday night.
With the big run yardage last week, Alex Magoo really didn't, I guess, put up the gaudy numbers, but I guess he played another good game.
Yeah, he played a solid game. Didn't turn the ball over, and I had a good completion percentage. And again, he was seeing the field really well. And I thought he threw the ball really well. He had his best week of practice throwing it, even though it was a short week when he had a couple of days. He threw the ball really well in practice, and it carried over to the game.
First of 2 Texas trips for you guys this year coming up. UTSA Roadrunners, a relatively young program. They started about 3 or 4 years ago. What have you seen from them on film?
They're a good team. I mean, they're a senior and junior dominated team, and very strong, very stout team. Offensively, they do a lot of things that create problems for us. A lot of formations, a lot of shifts, a lot of motions, and a lot of different schemes. So they do a lot. So we're going to have to be, prepared for that. Probably everything that we've seen throughout the year, they do all of it. Mm-hmm. And defensively, they don't do as much defensively, but they're very good. Up front, they're strong and physical. I mean, we watch the film, you think of Pitt. That's who they remind you of up front. Very strong, very physical at the point of attack. So, that's going to be a challenge for us. They're very good.
Last week they got 2 quarterbacks in the game against New Mexico that they lost. Do you see yourself preparing for 2 guys, or is it 1 guy that you're looking at, or?
No, we'll prepare for 2 guys. We'll prepare for both. And again, you got to prepare for everything because they do everything. So it doesn't matter who's a quarterback; they're going to do a lot of things. So we just have to prepare for everything. Number one, as it always does, comes down to us. We always say it's about us more than anybody else. We focus on ourselves. We prepare for our opponent for what they do. So we just got to take care of our job, our responsibilities, do a great job with our eyes, great job reading our keys. And if we do that, when we do that, we play well. And we didn't do that very well in the last game. And even though we got turnovers and we played well defensively, we've got to play a lot better defensively and offensively as far as some of the discipline things, some of the little things. Our attention to detail was not where it needed to be.
This will be the 3rd game in FIU history in a dome. The last 2 were 2 bowl games, Pizza Bowl in Detroit and the St. Pete Bowl a couple of years ago. They got 30,000 last game. Apparently they still have, they draw a pretty good crowd. It's really the only action in San Antonio outside of the Spurs. You guys preparing for a noise factor in this game with a dome game?
Oh, no question. Anytime you play in a dome, you have to. So we'll work on that. We'll prepare for that. We'll practice that all week. So no doubt about it. We'll be ready. We'll play some music during practice and crank the noise up a little bit and work on it and get ready for it.
Maybe even get some country music in there instead of all the nonsense that we hear in practice here.
We'll definitely have some country in there, that's for sure.
That's Coach Ron Turner. He'll lead his Panthers on Saturday against UTSA and the Roadrunners.
Play number 6 of the drive, which just included a 3rd down conversion on 3rd and inches. Give the ball to Warren. Warren. Oh, lost the ball. Picked up by Richard Leonard in the end zone. Leonard on the return. Leonard broke out of a tackle. Richard Leonard's got great speed. Gets a block, and he will run it back 101 yards. Unbelievable.
Jay Warren is sick.
Welcome back to FIU Football Weekly. Senior safety Justin Halley joins me now, and I'm sure you're happy to have this big thing back on campus. You've been a part of 3 of the last 4 wins in the Shula Bowl. Just talk about what getting this trophy back means for this program.
Yeah, it's huge. Trophy definitely looks nice. Looks better here than over at FAU. And yeah, just ever since I've been here, there's been FAU's been our rival, and there's just the stakes are bigger. Everyone's super excited for the game, and we just needed this win and to keep the momentum going for the season. And we're just really happy we got the trophy back.
It seemed like in the second half, the defense really turned up the pressure on the FAU offense. Talk about that second half where you guys you held them scoreless.
Yeah, there's a major rain delay. I feel like every game we have this year has had a rain delay at home. But, yeah, just all throughout the offseason, we knew there was going to be times where we had to deal with adversity and stay focused. So just that's all the coach said in the locker room, just be ready and prepared to go back out. And we were excited. Like right when we got back on the field, everyone was hyped up and had a lot of energy. And I mean, I feel like just from the gate, like we just jumped out and we just stole the momentum and demoralized FAU.
I was looking as the clock was counting down towards the end of the game. There were several of your teammates ready to race across the field to go get the trophy. Were you among that group?
No, I didn't know the trophy was over there. But
Okay.
once I saw everyone, yeah, I obviously jumped on board and ran over there, and it was exciting. Yeah, definitely wanted this trophy back.
Yeah.
We let our play talk, I guess you could say.
You guys now have 21 turnovers gained this season. That's number one in the nation. When I mentioned that to you, you were a little shocked about it. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's more than we've had all last season. So there's definitely defense is playing great. I mean, everyone's doing their job. Everyone's doing their responsibility, and great things happen when people do that. I mean, when the defense is covering the way they need to, then it gives the D-line time to sack the quarterback, and the linebackers are stopping the run, so it's making teams one-dimensional, which helps the secondary.
And I think, in part, you guys as a secondary are helping that front seven because, the experience that you guys have. Because if you look at that defense and the way it's made up, most of the experience is in the secondary with you, DeMarcus Perkins, Richard Leonard. And I think that allows maybe the front seven to play a little more free. Would you say that's the case?
Yeah, it's great to have DeMarcus was hurt for a few games last year, and Rich has really helped and dominated this year. So yeah, the secondary is really coming together, and we feel comfortable with each other. We have good chemistry. We talk on the field. We're communicating, and yeah, I mean we're covering most teams up pretty well, and that's that's partly because Mike White, the D-line's getting pressure on the quarterback. So I mean, maybe sometimes we're not even in the perfect position to break up a ball or pass or whatever. But Mike Wakefield, Pugh Ryan, they're all getting pressure, so it's making the quarterback throw not the most accurate throws sometimes.
Yeah, it's off-balance throws,
Yes.
and it's really not accurate, and we saw that on Thursday with Jacquez Johnson. As far as Richard Leonard, I mean, you played with T.Y. Hilton. You're playing with Richard Leonard.
Yeah. Sort of.
There's a little bit of a comparison there, I would say.
Yeah, definitely a big resemblance. I mean, Rich is on everything. He's on kickoff return. I think he's leading the nation to like top 20 or something in that. And he's been Conference USA Player of the Week already, and he's just been huge and definitely. I mean, when you have players like that, it makes you more confident and makes the rest of your teammates more confident because you just know we have playmakers on the team.
I tried to get this out of Richard, and I know he'll never tell me, and when I talk to T.Y. From time to time, he won't say it either. Were you present when they raced, T.Y. and Richard Leonard, when they had a foot race?
No.
You weren't present? Okay.
Who won?
One of the life's great mysteries,
Yeah.
Why is a parkway why is a driveway a parkway, and why is a parkway a driveway? One of those things. As far as...
I would like to know.
yeah, that's something everybody would like to know. What would you say are some of the big differences between this team last year and this year as we're at the halfway point of the season right now?
There's a few things. Our attitude and mindset. We're more confident. That's not just out of nowhere. We worked for it all off season. We put in the effort. We worked our butts off all like in the weight room, and we studied film. We did all the mental things as well, and all that's been building up, and it's been showing on the field. And I mean, when we do what we're supposed to do, when we all do our job, we can compete against anyone and excel. And just our attitude's a whole lot better. I mean, and obviously it's our second year in the scheme, so just mentally, everyone's more comfortable and is able to do their job more consistently.
At senior safety, Justin Halley. Panthers take on the UTSA Roadrunners for the first time in program history on Saturday. 7 o'clock kickoff. We'll have the pregame show for you at 6:30 on 1210 ESPN AM.